Fellas, you can have the money, the charisma, and the looks, but your mouthpiece matters. Now let me explain this with a story. So back in 9th grade, it was the last day of school, and me and my homies decided to walk off the street to the park. We get to the park, and this bad light-skinned joint had called my name. She was like, "Hey, you with the yellow bandana, come here." She pulled the Duke Riz out on me, y'all. I looked at Shorty and I'm asking her, "You talking about me?" Like, me. And back in the day, your boy was not getting no females his freshman year, you feel me? So the fact that this bad light-skinned joint had called me over to her, true story, no diddy, your boy couldn't believe it. So I nervously walked up to her and approached her, and I stood right in front of her. I was about, I would say, 6 inches to 7 inches taller than her. So I'm hovering over this girl, she looking at me dead in my eyes, and she like, "You fine, like we should hang out." At this point, your boy was thinking he was dreaming. And I had the looks. I had the courage to walk up to her, but I didn't have the courage to use my mouthpiece. And ultimately, she looked at me for about 2 minutes of dead, awkward silence and said, "You cute and all, but you kinda lame," and hushed me off back to my friends. You can have everything. You can have the looks, you can have the height, and you can have the charisma, but if you don't have that mouthpiece, you're finished, you're cooked. And that's something that we need to learn how to do, man. We need to learn how to communicate, because communication is everything in today's world. You need to learn how to communicate with your boss, with your parents, with your girlfriend, and most importantly, if you're single, you need to learn how to communicate with these single ladies, all right? You don't want to be that guy that gets shell-shocked and doesn't know what to say. You're gonna dry her up, my boy. You're gonna dry her up. But anyways, that story illustrated just the fact of how important communication is today. And there's a number of ways you can work on your communication. For me, I personally like to set reminders every single day to stop stuttering and stop using filler words like, so, maybe, because those words make you seem less confident and make you seem like more of a little boy instead of a grown man, all right? So, number one thing is cut out the filler words. Stop using so, like, maybe, probably, like. You just sound like a dweeb. You know, they don't want to, like, you're drying up, bro. You're drying up. You're gonna keep it like that. And when you're approaching, my boy, you set the tone for that conversation. You don't want to be me in my 9th grade year, all right? Second biggest thing, every single day when you're out, you need to start getting out of your comfort zone. Start speaking to strangers more. Whether it be that lady that you buy milk from, or you go into the gas station, you see that cute cashier that you always had a crush on. Make sure to speak to her and say, "Hi, how you doing today? How's the day going? Oh, really?" And then just keep going based off what she's telling you, y'all. It's really simple. We just make it difficult. Number 3, treat it like a bucket. Every time you say something and every time you communicate, make sure you bounce off everything that the person is saying in front of you, so that you have an endless communication line to keep going off of and flowing off of. And once you're in the paint, you about to score, you dribbling it up, you doing your handles, make sure you grab the number, just so you secure the bag. And this might be a little bit of a challenge, but if your communication is still iffy and you feel like you need to communicate a lot more, try getting a sales job. This will help you communicate with 100 to 200 people every single day. This is personally what I did when I did not know how to communicate with people. So once upon a time, your boy was about 5 months younger, and I didn't know how to communicate at all with anybody. I was trying to run a business, and I had the idea, the charisma, and the confidence, but my mouthpiece was not on game. So I had to go and get me a sales job, and this helped me communicate with about 200 to 300 people every 2 days. And what this did for me, this helped me really get out of that comfort zone and challenge myself. You gotta be willing to challenge yourself, fellas, because what started happening within the first week, I was like, nah, this isn't for me. Within that second week, a little bit better, but I felt like quitting. Within that third week, your boy was reading off them scripts like, "Hey, it's your boy Josh from this, that, the third," and you know what I'm saying? Like, I turned into a wizard at communication over time. But what a sales job can do for you is help you build up the communication skills so that you're able to go out into the world and talk like a G. The fourth thing that you need to do is build up that confidence. Walk with your chest high, your chest out. You gotta stop being scared, my boy. You're a human being like everybody else on this planet. And if you keep looking at these people like they're gods, you're never gonna be able to talk to them. Go to the gym, make sure that you are that guy internally, you'll be that guy on the external as well. And reading. Don't listen to that dumb friend that says reading is boring. I got at least 15 books in my arsenal. And yes, I'm holding it like a stack of money because your mind matters. So remember, work on yourself internally and it'll show on the external. If you have a little bit of a budget and you're able to get a coach, go for it, my boy, because a coach can teach you a lot with the experience that they've been through. Not only that, with the credentials they may have. This could help you level up your talking game. Not only that, you have someone holding your hand along the way. So you have a little bit more of a structured journey instead of a chaotic journey. Number 6, no drizzy. Remember that life is pretty simple, man. Don't overcomplicate things by thinking too much. Let it flow naturally, like any other conversation you would have in your life. And watch how things unfold for you. I had this badge on in front of me, you feel me? I'm over here stepping over my words and I'm over here slipping and I'm like, oh, she's making direct eye contact. I don't know if I can make the sale. But as soon as I took my brain out my head and stopped thinking, the sale became much easier. A lot of the time, you'll end up getting in your own way because you're thinking too much. Sometimes you just need to flow. Let life flow naturally and you'll become the person that you are naturally. Don't think about the words, just say them. So remember, at the end of the day, communication is a journey. And throughout these years, you gotta test your mind mentally and you got to get to that area where you are a sharp man and you're a skilled communicator. Because communication is one of the hardest things to build. But once you get there, you ain't never going back to normal. Number 9, speak with clarity and be concise. And to do this practice, you want to start by practicing to pause. When you learn to pause, you become more of a dominant speaker instead of somebody that's just rambling on and on and on and you can't even understand what they're talking about because they're talking so fast and they're talking like this and they're trying to get all their points across super fast because they don't want to seem ignorant. Alright, so learn to pause. Learn how to speak and be like, yo, shorty, I saw you down the street. And I was wondering, because you just looking so good, like, can I take you out on a date sometime real soon? We need to catch up and see where things can go for real. And with them eyes, you just the prettiest dime in the sea. That was really corny, but that's how you should use the pause. Use pauses in between to convey dominance when you are speaking. Because this really shows that you're a man and you're not really caring about people jumping on the line in front of you while you're speaking because you're a dominant speaker. You don't need to talk fast, you just need to take your time. Remember that every day and put it in your reminders every single day so that you're able to talk like a boss. Number 10, this is one of the biggest ones that you want to practice. Listening. Because when you're talking to people, you want to practice overall listening and giving them a response after you've listened thoroughly. Try not to cut people off too often and focus more on listening instead of speaking, and you'll become more likable, not only in dating settings but also in professional settings. Focus on the 80-20 rule. Make sure you're doing 80% of listening and 20% of verbally speaking. This way you're actually hearing the prospect out and you're giving them a tailored response. And number 11, we got adaptability. This is just being able to adjust your tone, style, or approach based on the situation or feedback. So to sum it up and run it back through, the first step of being a great communicator should be clarity. Being able to speak concisely and deliver your message in a way that people understand is how you will get them to listen to you. Have you ever had someone talk to you in circles using a bunch of words but not really saying nothing? Exactly. Don't be that person. Instead, be clear and direct. Get to the point, but make sure that the point makes sense. Whether you're in a meeting or you're just chatting with that girl at the gas station that you got a crush on, just practice saying what you mean. If you're pitching an idea or you're trying to push up on that girl, just cut the fluff. All those filler words, you don't need to use them. No one's got time for vague nonsense. The second secret is listen more than you talk. I know it's a shocker, but you need to learn this skill because it's crucially effective. When you actually listen, you pick up on details that will help you respond better. People appreciate when you truly hear them out. And it's wild how much you can learn when you're not the one doing all the talking. This is what you want to learn how to do, is shut up. Learn how to shut up and start listening more. Because when you shut up, this is like the key to life, my boy. When you shut up and you just take directions from other people, it makes your life a lot simpler. So don't be the biggest talker in the room, okay? We know he's the brokest. Be the quiet person. Learn how to listen, okay? This is a game changer. When you listen to her, right? Which most men don't do. When you listen, you can do whatever you want. No diddy. Use open body language, aka when you talk, keep your hands by your side. Use key eye contact. Make sure that you're looking at your prospect in their eyes. And finally, make sure to smile so that you don't come off as cold when you're speaking to your prospect. Because you can deliver it in a way that sounds super great, but if you have this vague look on your face, almost like you're a serial killer, you might scare away both prospects on both sides of the spectrum. So make sure to smile and give that delivery. People read your vibes even without them realizing it. So when your body language becomes your words, that's when you become a master at communicating. Number 4 will be tailoring your message towards your audience or your prospect. Here's a pro move. Effective communicators know how to adapt their conversations to their audience. Again, like the previous example, you wouldn't talk to your boss the same way you talk to that crush. I would hope you don't. You have to read the room and adjust. Ask yourself, who am I talking to? Figure out what they care about and how they prefer to communicate. When you tailor your message, it shows that you have respect towards your audience or your prospect, and that's how you communicate with people. Last but not least, be confident. People trust what you say when you say it like you mean it. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance. So when you say stuff, be able to convey your message without putting others down. And that's the true key to confidence. You don't want to be putting others down or talk above everyone else because it's a sign of arrogance. When you believe in your message, others will too. But stay humble. Good communication isn't about showing off, it's about creating a connection. So there you have it. Those are the top secrets to communicating effectively and making sure that your delivery is on point when you finally do communicate. Whether it be for a boss, that female that you have a crush on, or just everyday communication, guys. Now go out there and speak like a boss. And for my guys out there looking to level up, make sure that you watch my other videos on YouTube so that you're able to level up as a man in this world. All right, let's get into it, guys. Peace out and blessings.